The air in Accra was thick with joy, a beautiful tapestry woven from the sounds of Ottawa music and the scent of jollof rice drifting from the feast tables. Today was the day of my traditional engagement, Maya Wariyu. The garden was a paradise, draped in kente cloth of the richest gold and green, mirroring the wealth of our families. My family, the Oforis, and his, the Ajis, were a sea of vibrant colors and beaming smiles. From the corner of my eye, I saw him, Kofi. He stood there, a king in his own mind, his Igbata crisp, his smile as wide and fake as the promises he'd whispered to me under the moonlight. He thought he had won. The knocking ceremony, the Akanta Sikin, was done. The shops had been accepted. All that was left was for me to say yes. My father's brother, my dear Nanaya, cleared his throat, his voice booming with the pride of a man about to unite two powerful families. He presented the dowry gifts, gleaming trunks, expensive cloths, and envelopes thick with cash. "F.U.O. he called out, his voice echoing slightly through the speakers set up for the music. "Do you accept these gifts and this man, Kofi Ajay, as your husband?" The crowd held its breath. The first ask. I smiled, a slow, deliberate smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. I remained silent. Kofi's smile faltered for a second, but he quickly recovered, probably thinking I was just being a coy, blushing bride. Nanaya asked again, a little louder this time. "Afua, my daughter, for the second time, we ask, do you accept?" Again, I held my peace, letting the silence stretch, becoming heavy and uncomfortable. The murmurs started, like a low hum of bees. What was happening? Was she unwell? Was this part of the drama? Kofi was no longer smiling. A bead of sweat trickled down his temple, and he shifted his weight, his expensive leather sandals suddenly looking too tight. Then came the third and final ask, "Afua." Nanaya's voice was now laced with concern. "For the final time, do you accept Kofi Ajay?" This was it, the moment I had replayed in my mind 1,000 times. I took a deep breath, savored it, and then, instead of the yes everyone was expecting, I reached into the beaded bag my maid of honor was holding. I didn't pull out a handkerchief to dab at happy tears. I pulled out a sleek, modern tablet. With the tap of my finger, the massive LED screens that were meant to display a slideshow of our happy moments flickered to life. The first image that appeared wasn't a smiling photo of me and Kofi. It was a bank statement. My bank statement, red arrows highlighted massive transfers, all going to one account. Kofi's account, my life savings, the seed money for my tech startup, drained over 6 months. A gasp rippled through the crowd. I could see Kofi's mother clutching her chest, her eyes wide with disbelief. Kofi himself looked like he'd seen a ghost. His face went from a dark coffee brown to a pale, sickly ash. For the past year, I began, my voice clear and steady, amplified by the microphone I'd secretly requested from the DJ. I thought I was building a future with this man. Instead, I was funding his. Another tap on the tablet. A voice note started to play, Kofi's voice, smooth and confident, filling the stunned silence. "Don't worry, baby," he was saying, his tone dripping with arrogance. "The rich girl is paying for everything. Her father has money, she has money. We just need to get through this ceremony, and then our life begins. I'm just milking the cow. The baby he was talking to wasn't me. It was his mistress." The crowd erupted. Shouts of Asamban Ni and "Oh, my days" filled the air. Kofi's father stood up, his face a thundercloud, and started yelling at his son in Twi, the words too fast and furious for me to catch completely, but the shame was universal. But I wasn't done. Oh no, the grand finale was yet to come. "Kofi," I said, my eyes locking onto his, "you told me you had no secrets. You told me your past was an open book." I paused, letting the weight of my words hang in the air. "I guess you forgot to mention a chapter, or should I say a wife." On cue, from a side entrance, a woman walked in. She was beautiful, dressed in a simple but elegant kaba and slit, and on her back, strapped in colorful cloth, was a small child, fast asleep. She walked with a quiet dignity that commanded attention. She walked right up to Kofi, her eyes burning with a righteous fire. "Adjoa," Kofi whispered, his voice barely audible. He looked like his world was collapsing in on itself, and it was. "Yes, Kofi, it's me," she said, her voice soft but carrying the strength of a woman scorned. "Your wife. The one you left in Kumasi with our son, telling her you were coming to Accra for a business deal." She looked from Kofi to me, and for a moment, our eyes met. There was no animosity, only a shared understanding of betrayal. We were two sides of the same counterfeit coin he had been spending. The garden descended into chaos. The engagement ceremony had become a public trial. Kofi's family was in disarray, some shouting, some weeping. My family, after the initial shock, rallied around me, their faces a mixture of fury at Kofi and pride for me. My father, a man of few words, simply came to my side, put a hand on my shoulder, and squeezed. It was all the support I needed. Kofi tried to speak, to stammer out an excuse, but his words were drowned out by the noise and his own shame. He looked around, searching for an ally, a friendly face, but found only condemnation. I raised the microphone one last time, my voice cutting through the din. "Ushers," I announced calmly, "could you please escort Mr. Ajay and his associates off the premises? His part in today's festivities is over." As two of my burly cousins moved toward him, I turned to the stunned guests. A wide, genuine smile finally spread across my face. "Please, everyone," I declared, my voice ringing with newfound liberation. "Don't let this unfortunate business spoil a perfectly good party. The food is ready, the music is waiting. Today is not the day of my engagement. Today is the day of my independence. Let's celebrate. And as for the dowry, the trunks, the cloth, the cash." I looked at them, then at my father, who simply nodded. I kept it all, every last cedi, consider it restitution. A down payment on the new, brilliant future I was about to build for myself, free from lies and full of promise. The music swelled, a joyous high life tune, and as I took my father's hand to lead the first dance, I felt lighter than I had in years. The celebration had just begun. Thank you for watching my story. If you've ever had to find your own strength in a difficult situation, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories of triumph.